We can move into automation right now. So that's another big one. And the reason this is really important is kind of as you scale, what ends up happening, and I'll kind of share what ended up happening to me is you get a lot of customers, right? There's a lot of communication. There's a lot of texting. There's a lot of calling. There's a lot of emailing. Initially, at least for me, and I think safe to say for most people, when you first start, you're manually doing that, right? You're manually reaching out to customers. I was manually sending emails. I was manually texting them, okay, out of my personal phone. I didn't have a business phone back then. Out of my personal phone, and manually writing an email out to each and every one of you, letting you know about your upcoming cleaning or your upcoming service. Now, the problem is, let's say you have 10 jobs, 8 jobs in a day, right? And you send 8 texts, 8 emails out. 3 of those emails turn into conversations. 2 of those text messages turn into conversations. Now I'm in a full-blown conversation with the customer, okay? Now, extrapolate that out like 5 or 6 months, okay? What you end up getting is a bricked phone. I literally bricked my phone because my phone also had, my personal chats, my personal stuff on my phone, in addition to so many different customer communication text messages in there that it legitimately bricked. And so by business automation, this is going to be the focus point that I'm referring to, just because there are some things that I don't think should be automated, that just based on talking to a lot of business owners, initially sound like a good idea, but probably aren't a good idea to automate. But to start with, cleaning reminder emails, right? Super simple, super straightforward. That's something that you want to include as part of this whole online automation process, right? When someone makes a booking online, they receive a confirmation email. Their service might be 3 weeks from now, right? If you're not sending out reminders, they're going to forget. You're going to show up to somebody's door. They're not going to know why you're there. They're going to forget. They're on the go. They're busy. It's happened to me many times, okay? Setting up multiple email reminders is a great idea. Now, whether that's 5, 7, 10 days out, 2 weeks out, whatever, you feel comfortable with. I think the important thing is to have multiple email reminders that go out. The email reminders themselves do need to include the service, the information for the service, right? So as people receive those, they read them. They may not remember why they booked a deep cleaning. They may not remember why they chose the inside of the oven as an extra, or they may want to add it because they see it's not there, but now their oven's dirty, right? So that's an avenue for them to reach out and request some sort of add-on to be added to the service. Saving yourself time from the countless conversations is exactly what I just covered. That is a real problem. As you scale, there is just no other way around it. It has to be automated. It has to be systemic. You should not be manually reminding your customers via text or email about the jobs, because those 8 jobs turn into 20 jobs per day. And the amount of conversations that you would get out of those is going to be, 50%. And each email thread has 50 emails. Each text thread has 30 text messages, 40 text messages, right? Unsustainable. Text reminders. I like 1 or 2 text reminders just because obviously much more responsive. People are much more responsive on their phones. And so I don't want to bombard customers with multiple text message reminders. We already have enough information coming through our phone. So I like to keep that at 1 or 2. No rhyme or reason other than my opinion on the amount of things that come through my phone. I wouldn't want to see 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 text reminders in addition to email reminders for something that's coming up 5, 7 days ahead. Same thing, including as much information as possible, or possibly a link to the job that they can view through a portal of some sort, would be highly recommended. Just because, again, people forget. They don't remember what they booked. They don't remember what they bought. They may want to add things or take things away. It ends up saving tons of time on your end from countless conversations, again, over text messages. Now, the job assignment portion, right? So that's a huge aspect to owning a cleaning business, right? You have technicians, you have teams, you want to assign them to jobs, you have to create that schedule. Business automation sounds great. And just from, in my opinion, when I first started and everything was kind of growing and you're going into this online direction and automation, I wanted to automate everything. And my intention was to figure out a way to automate this as well. But unfortunately, at scale, you just simply cannot automate assigning cleaners, techs, or teams to jobs. there's too many variables at play. There's too many changes to a schedule that are usually made, maybe even last minute, right? What your schedule is on Friday, right? As of right now, next Friday, let's say, is going to be vastly different than what it looks like by the time we get to Thursday of next week. There's just a lot of changes that end up happening, especially as you're sending emails out, sending text messages out, reminding people of the upcoming appointments. They're going to be responding in some capacity, whether it's rescheduling, canceling, adding this and that, having you shift around the jobs, whether it's your techs, cleaners, or teams, whole teams of people submitting time off or not available for work. This is not something that I would automate. This is something that I still require eyes on. I require eyes on scheduling, manual work, manually making up the schedule and making sure it flows correctly. So we can automate a huge chunk of business processes, but there's a certain amount of them that you just should not automate.